Well, hey, y'all, it's Crystal Hunsucker. Happy Magnanimous Monday, and welcome to your $1,000,000 message. Well, I'm sure many of you are so excited to wake up today on this incredible Monday with, a super special bundle special to help us get the Mary Kay Your Way contest up and running. So if you haven't seen it yet, CC Cream, primer, and finishing spray bundled together for a special 55% off sale. Think that is pretty darn awesome. And you have a limit of 13 per shade. What a great way to start out the seminar year. And I just want to remind you, especially if this is one of those years you are determined to do court of sales, take advantage of every single sale and bundle sale like this. Because when we get something for more percentage off than the 50%, you're getting more credit when you order those bundles towards your retail credit for the year. It will cost you less to get more credit. Does that make sense? To get credit. So I really hope you're going to take advantage of this. These are three of some of my very, very favorite products, and I think it's perfect for right here in the middle of summer. Well, I want to really quick talk to you guys today. Just yet again, more life lessons from the Hunsucker Happy House. So what a wild time we're living in, right? What a crazy weekend. I hope you all have been praying for our country and just for goodness, I'm really wordless and speechless on it, but just be praying for our country. And I just firmly believe anytime anything like this happens, we really get to microscope our thoughts and our hearts of, okay, our values, you know, as the best country in the world, you guys. And I think we have to continue to remember that we do live in the best place, even though things seem a little wild right now. So just continue to pray. But in our home this last week, we had an insane week. I'm going to tell you a super quick story and just some things that I walked through emotionally that I learned and that I hope you can take away too in your own life and in your business. And so months ago, we had this exact time, like right now in July, we were invited to 3 different big activities, big trips, big things. And so the most important one to me was Brad has a work golf tournament that we were invited to last year that we had not, you have to be invited through his business. And we basically knew that we kind of had it figured out. We hadn't had our exact invite yet, but that we were going. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You're just like, I know this is going to work out and we're going to go. So when I was asked to do these other things, we were asked to come out to my brother's and spend a week there and go to the beach and enjoy his family. But this family golf tournament was the top priority just because it was like a little family vacation. It's this incredible place in San Antonio, this amazing resort. And that's where I stuck my stake in. I had a bestie who invited me and Brad to a weekend getaway at her house. She lives on the beach, and wink, wink, I'm sure some of you know who that is. But I told her no, because no, we're doing this family golf tournament. Well, fast forward a week and a half ago, the invite that we thought we had fell through, and all of a sudden we find ourselves in the middle of July, technically, I mean, with no vacation plan, because that's what I was this summer counting as my kids' summer vacation. I was mad, I was sad, I was frustrated, and just didn't know what we were going to do. On top of everything else, Brad ended up getting called in he works from our house and only goes into his office in East Texas about every other week, something like that. And he ended up getting called into his office for the entire week, you guys. And so we're going on no vacation, and I'm going to have the kids all by myself all week long at our house. I'm like, okay, what just happened? Am I getting punked? Is that too old for some of you guys? There used to be a show called Punked. I felt like I was on a reality show and somebody was filming me and they were going to go, just kidding, you're going to, and they were going to name some amazing place. So anyways, needless to say, I really had to go through all my feels, all my emotions. I let all of them happen. I think it's just so important. I'm obsessed with this whole Inside Out 2 thing right now. I know I've already talked about it, but I'm so into recognizing all of your emotions, letting them out so that we don't stuff them in, so that we're healthy, you know? So I went through all of it quickly. I mean, the more that I'm doing that, the quicker that I'm able to walk through them. And I got to a place that I was like, you know what? We're going to do a staycation at home. We're going to sleep in every day. We're going to go to different pools that I have access to all over McKinney. We are just going to have a great time. Well, in the meantime, Brad is like, hey, I found this amazing place. It's out in Tyler. Why don't you guys come? So then I can leave the office. I'll go in early. I'll leave early. We'll get to spend the whole late afternoon and evening together, and then we can have a little, vacation out here. And it's just a couple hours away. And so I was like, oh, my gosh, this is going to be great. And it was the cutest place. They actually have these camping sites all over the United States called Jellystone Parks. If you're young, you're not going to know Yogi Bear, but it's like a Yogi Bear themed place. So much fun. I'm going to be honest, I am a diva. And so I was like, oh, we're going to be in these cabins. What's this going to be like? And it was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. And our cabin was amazing and beautiful. They have a little mini water park. There's just so many activities. It's beautiful. We just had the best time. And while we were there, we started getting phone calls. Boone's on a little baseball team. And not to go into every detail about that, but we were very unhappy with the way some things were being dealt with. Now, I'm talking about 8-year-olds, guys. I mean, Texas, we are intense around here about our sports, even at a young age. And needless to say, we play with all the kids from our school, and you can have 12 players on a team. 15 wanted to play. You cannot have more than 12. And so we had to have a tryout for 8-year-olds, guys. I mean, it's so hard. It makes my stomach hurt. And anyways, some interesting things kind of were happening with what was going to happen with this tryout, and Brad's a coach. And so while we're gone, I'm trying to enjoy this thing. All this baseball stuff is happening. And I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I had a really hard time doing emotional management. I still had a good time. I still enjoyed my kids. But when we would be at the pool, Brad was at work, and I would be sitting there getting, messages and things like that from some other moms, but also just thinking about it and being really upset with basically what I felt like was unfair treatment towards my son. And it was hard, you guys. So that's kind of my first lesson was sometimes I nail it with emotional management and sometimes I don't. And I just did not nail it this time. I have found, too, that I have a better time managing my emotions if it's something that I'm personally dealing with that I can, shove to the side versus when it's something that's happening to my kids. Wow. God is really working with me on that. So I don't know if anybody else relates with that, but that is something that I'm going to be working on that hopefully I can share with you guys on some new ways to manage emotional feelings and emotional management when it is something that's not directly happening to you. Because I've gotten pretty good at that. But when it's to somebody that I love, game on, I've got the gloves on, mama bears out. So anyways, needless to say, we had to end up coming back early, canceling one of our nights stay because we had to go to this baseball trial. To say I was not happy is an understatement. And so needless to say, though, we got there. The tryout was great. I was really glad we were there. And I just started thinking about it. I was like, if we would have ended up being at that golf tournament, we could not have left that golf tournament. And what would have happened? Would they have just said, sorry, this is when this was, and if Boone can't be here, he can't make the team? Or we would have been at the beach, and we couldn't have changed flights and ran home for Boone to have the confidence of his dad being at the baseball tryouts? What if he would have had to go without us there? I don't know how the tryout would have gone. You know what I mean? And so I really looked back at the whole thing is that there were a lot of things out of my control, but the things that were in control were my emotions and my attitude and my bounce back ability, how I was going to bounce back once I walked through all of that. These are all such crucial, important things as we're working, as you're working with a team, as you're working with other people, as you're having appointments, that we can have these life skills that work in Mary Kay, but also outside of Mary Kay. And so needless to say, Boone did make his team, but some of his friends didn't. And I also learned, the value in communication. And he is 8 years old. He is starting to understand what's going on, even with what happened in America over the weekend. I communicated with my kids. We talked about it. Obviously, it was all over the news. We were watching it in front of them. But all I could say was, I was like, Boone, I know you don't understand this now, but you are never going to forget this happened. Because when you're 8 years old, you remember that stuff, right? But we had a lot of communication, a lot of talking things out. And I think sometimes we even discount that with people we're working with, that not all tough confrontations are technically confrontation. They're healthy. They're good. And so I hope that blesses you today, because we made it. We made it on the team. We made it through the weekend. We made it with a stronger bond as a family than we had before. And everything happened for a reason. Everything happened for a reason. And I can look back and I can see, well, now I know why this didn't happen and that didn't happen and why we didn't get to go here and why we didn't get to do this, because we were supposed to do what we did when we did it and how we did it. And my challenge to you today is can you think like that? Can you shift your mindset that when things don't go our way, when we're on the other side of it, even when it's a quick turnaround like I got to have over a week, and we recognize, hey, God was moving, God was in control, and it all happened for a reason, exactly how it's supposed to. Raise your hands in the air so I can bless you. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May he make his face to shine upon you. May you know that if God is for you, who can be against you? With God on your side, whom shall you fear? May you be like a tree that is planted by rivers of living water, that your leaf will not wither, and whatever you do, say it with me, it shall prosper. Have a great day.